Good evening.
Welcome to CHMA Broadcasting from Sackville, New Brunswick. You are listening either on 106.9 in the Tantramar area or at www.chmafm.com.
On the wild phenomenon that is the internet.
Is your mother listening tonight?
On the internet?
Yes.
I'm not sure that technology has reached the area that I grew up in yet.
Oh, I tried to tell her about it.
Yes, and she seemed confused.
So confused, right? I was wondering if you
Listen, I
doubled
myself
back.
still find it amazing that you can now access radio on the internet.
It is very interesting.
What
but
a time to be alive.
I'm just surprised you didn't double back on your mom and be like, look, if you just go to this website, you can actually hear
I definitely consider. Before this comes out, maybe I will send the link on the internet to where it's like, this is where you go, you click on
at
it.
The top of the page. That's what that's what I did with my mother.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom, if you're listening. And hi, Kim, if you're listening.
Oh, my mom gets I feel like I should be like, hi, Mary. So then both moms get a name drop.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair. Hi, Mary.
This is ground control at YMC Midgic Airport. You're joining myself.
We already did that part, dude.
Did we?
Yes.
I don't remember saying air traffic controller Luke. I think we only did the first part.
Okay, never mind. You go for it. Yeah. No, you're right. Sorry. I'm stepping on your toes. And me, air traffic controller Thomas.
Join us for the next hour as we watch the skies, listen to some tunes, chat, and we'll be done. But by and by is like your line. I feel
by and
by is not something
that you would ever say.
That I would say. No, it's not in.
Fair. So Luke,
yes,
weather.
Oh, it's weathering so much. Summer's gonna hit. Like it's not hitting right now.
Yeah,
because it's Sunday night. It's probably gray and dreary.
Yeah, it's been a lot more dreary in the evenings recently. I've been waking up and not putting shorts on.
Huh?
And I'm a shorts boy.
Yeah. You like the shorter pants.
I do. So yeah, I've been putting the pants on.
Pantaloons. So yeah, my based on no scientific inputs whatsoever, I'm gonna say that's gonna start being sunnier and warmer.
Am I putting pants on Monday morning?
No, you're putting shorts on.
Putting shorts on Monday morning. Here we go. I haven't looked at the weather. Neither of us have. Neither of us have any clue if that's true. But
and while you are listening to this live, it is actually live several days in advance. Not important what day, so much as that it's this is live now
for us. Yes.
They're
but
not
to
our listeners.
Yes,
it's live at a different time.
Yeah, for us it's live now. For our listeners, right now is a few days ago.
No, for us right now is a few days ago. For our listeners, right now is right now.
No, for our listeners, right now is right now. But for our listeners, our right now is a few days ago.
Time is a tremendously confusing concept, and I'm sure in the future. In fact, if you want to contact CHMA today, they are looking for summer programming.
That's true, they are.
If you would like to spend half an hour every week discussing time,
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah. Plus, there's some great time tunes.
There's
like you could have a time playlist.
Oh,
that's
Pink Floyd
one of the greatest
has so many
times.
songs about time.
Yeah,
time. Their song "Time." All right,
there we go. Yeah.
So, I guess talking about songs, we got songs.
We've got.
This
songs.
is a show that plays songs sometimes.
We have music. I put a pump up jam in there.
Oh, what did you put in?
I put because we haven't listened to Sloan in months.
It's true.
And heavy hitters of the rock world in the Maritimes. Sloan, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I put If It Feels Good, Do It on there because it's a jam.
Yeah. Here is If It Feels Good, Do It by Sloan. So Luke, you just found a nail
on the break room chair.
On the
but
break room
before we get
chair.
into that, can I just point out that we were discussing harmonies last week.
Yes.
Sloan packs more harmonies than
your average band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of any genre.
Yes.
But also rock, I feel like maybe doesn't always see that.
Yeah, especially
coming from listening to punk as a kid, they couldn't have one person who sang, much less multiples a lot of times.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
Yeah, in the 90s, definitely there was a lot less harmonies in songs. Even if you go back to the 80s, though, like hair metal, you don't really think of hair metal like this, but there was a lot of harmonies in hair metal. And a lot of a lot of the bassists and rhythm guitarists in hair metal bands
working together.
Yeah, like we're.
I mean, they
singing,
should be working together anyway.
Yes, but just singing harmonies and stuff. But yeah, you're right. Especially in this era, like if you go back, we were listening to. Oh my goodness, I'm doing myself a disservice right now. Joel Plaskett's first band.
Oh my goodness! One of our fans is yelling.
I'm yelling at me. I literally played them 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and it's funny because when you said it, I was like, "Yes, that's a thing," and now it's gone. The information is gone.
Yeah. Anyway, you're not going to hear a lot of harmonies in other, local rock bands of that time.
Yeah.
And definitely not at the national level, not a ton. At least not from that scene. So that's great.
Yeah, I got a little more heavy on the rock focus this week. I felt like maybe not getting. I mean, you put some more rock in, but I wasn't very heavy on it. So we'll give the folks what they like.
Yeah,
and some folks
like rock.
I like rock,
and some folks like sports.
Sports.
Yeah. I don't have a new sport thing. I think I'm moving more towards just sports in general because it's easier
as a concept.
Yeah, and then I have to think less, and thinking less sometimes is good.
Huh?
All
right. So what are you sporting about this week?
Well,
what sports fact do you have to bring?
Yeah, more like sports fact now. And I'm bringing a little sports news. Have you heard of the Toronto Raptors?
Is there a basketball team that recently had a person on it who was fired because he was betting against himself?
Yes, that is correct. Yes.
I know that because of what I learned here.
That is correct. Yeah, Jonte Porter.
Well, I knew they were a basketball team before that.
Before that, yes. They are a basketball team. You know what we're going to talk about this time? Basketball.
Amazing.
It's so funny because every time I've talked about the Raptors, I think so far on the show, it's been
because they were doing poorly.
Yeah, doing poorly, or just something that didn't
their
actually
players were doing poorly.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing to do with actually basketball.
Okay.
I was just shouting at Will Liu for just having a hard job for having to watch a bad team.
I remember that. That was early on.
That was, yeah.
All right. So what did the old Raptors do this week?
The Raptors are officially out of the playoffs, out of playoff contention. They didn't even make the playoffs.
Okay. What percentage of NBA teams make the playoffs?
There are...
Is it like a 50-50 split?
Pretty much.
60-40?
It used to be... So it used to be 8 on both sides, so 16 teams. 16 out of, I think it is 30 teams in the league.
Okay, so a little better than 50%, but not a lot.
And then they added something called a play-in tournament.
Dun dun dun.
So essentially, everyone from 10 seed and up has a chance to get into the playoffs.
Okay.
So if the 10 seed beats both the 9 seed in a playoff type of game, and then the 7 seed in a playoff type game, they can then be in the playoffs.
Okay.
It's relatively new.
Mm-hmm.
People love it. I love it.
Yeah. Well, it brings the excitement of the playoffs, I'm sure, to what otherwise would be not exciting.
Yeah, and then it makes even if you're one of the lower teams,
if you're rooting for one of the lower teams, then all of a sudden there's some hope.
Yeah, last year the Miami Heat were a play-in team, if I remember correctly, and they made it to the conference finals. So Yeah, play-in's awesome. Anyway,
Okay.
the Raptors didn't even make the play.
They didn't even do that. Are they in this playoff extra playoff area?
No, that's the play-in. Yeah, they didn't make
play-in.
that.
They didn't even make that.
No. We were 12th.
Sorry, Raptors.
We were 12th.
Very well. Sorry, Raptors fans.
Out of 12 out of 15 or 16.
Okay.
Not great.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the update. Like
that's the update. We're just not.
We're
in the past. Our national team has been quite good. Years ago.
Yeah. Well, actually,
they're the only Canadian team, correct?
Yes,
for the NBA.
But we do have for the NBA. Yes, but we do actually have. You mentioned national. We do have a national team of just Canadian players.
Okay.
That play at the Olympics.
Yes.
And like FIBA, being like the FIBA World Cup. A lot of people have heard of the FIFA World Cup.
Yes.
Similar for basketball. And they're actually supposed to do really, really well.
Whoa!
Coming up in the Olympics.
Good
we're
for
hoping.
Us.
Yeah, we're hoping to be like
that's like pretty soon.
Potentially gold.
Paris? Am I right in saying it's Paris?
I think so.
Yeah.
I haven't looked too much into the Olympics, but I do know that Canada's hoping actually even for gold.
Oh, that's the old Olympic basketball.
Yeah, like we beat the Americans potentially. That's how good some of our players are.
All right.
Yeah. So at the national level, Canada's doing great. At the Toronto Raptors,
at the national level, outside of Canada and the United States, who would be like the heavy basketball hitters?
So that's a great question. Basketball is very quickly catching on like all over the world. We can see some of the best players in the NBA now are coming from Canada, but they're also coming from Europe and coming from Australia as well. And we're starting to see more come from Asia and Africa as well. Like it's growing everywhere. Outside of Canada and the United States, China does have somewhat competitive team. But we have very competitive teams. So Germany won FIBA last, which was
okay.
I believe, if I remember correctly, this summer that just passed. I will say the American FIBA team did not have like LeBron James and like the heavyweights on it.
Yeah, is that would there be part of that that's like the NBA saying if you play for the NBA, we don't want you going to we don't want you risking.
Yes. We don't
play.
We see that in hockey.
Yeah,
right?
And maybe that's where I know the concept from because I know that's happened.
Yes,
and I know that even in my what I used to follow was motor racing.
Yeah,
there were sanctioning bodies that if you raced in a given sanctioning body, a World Rally Championship, that you might be contracted to say that we don't really want you going to run in certain other events because they're just like too dangerous or they're conflicting schedule or like,
So I have never heard of the NBA blocking any of their players.
Really?
To play in any of these outside tournaments. It usually has to do with the prestige of the tournament.
Okay.
So
if you go back to the Raptors and like, listen, I won't be at the next game because I have to go play at the Tantramar regional pickup basketball extravaganza. They might be like, we'd prefer if you didn't do that. But if you're like, I'm gonna miss a few days because I'm going to the Olympics.
Yes,
we're probably gonna be like.
The NBA has been really smart in structuring their seasons around when that sort of stuff isn't happening. So the Olympics, they don't have anything going on during the summer. They have, a few rookie games, a little bit of the preseason.
Yep.
What's called their summer league, which is essentially the rookies and other younger players who have been in the league but don't currently have a team.
Okay.
So everyone is welcome to go play in FIBA or welcome to go play in the Olympics. It's just like, LeBron James doesn't really care about FIBA. maybe this year he does want to go win a gold medal for the Olympics. There have been dream teams in basketball history that go to the Olympics, with all these superstar studs. But like these smaller tournaments like FIBA, and FIBA is still a huge tournament.
I'm sure.
You can have teams from Germany and Italy and Australia. Like it was quite competitive.
Okay.
Now some of these and some like a lot of these teams will have 2 or 3 players or even superstars that are in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
Or players that formerly were in the NBA who are still NBA caliber.
Still competitive players.
Very competitive players. All over Europe. Italy especially. Italy, France. I think Serbia would have an incredible team now. Basketball's worldwide, dude.
Cool.
So sports update, I guess. Basketball, people play it.
All over the place.
It's real big now. It used to not be big in the 90s.
Yeah.
And now it's the biggest sport in the world, or soon to be the biggest sport in the world. Or
a lot of people duking it out for that title. A lot of sports duking it out for that title.
Soccer is firmly holding it, and like until anyone takes away from soccer, it's soccer. But like American football will never be as big anywhere else.
Yeah.
And the NBA is probably the second biggest sport worldwide.
And listen, man. I mean, I can see it. Like it's an accessible sport, right? It's not that hard. I mean, I know in some parts of the world it would be a challenge to get a couple of nets up and some, a court surface of some quality. But once that's done, the barriers to entry are very low, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
similar to rugby and similar to soccer, the other biggest worldwide sports.
And I don't know if we discussed this before, but it's like the hockey thing, right? Like you want to go out and play hockey even at a rec level. It's like you dropping $1,000 in gear to get on the ice, and that's big. I mean, I decided to go play pickup basketball again this winter.
Yes,
I went and bought a $70 pair of on sale shoes.
Yeah, exactly.
And
you're good.
Yeah,
like especially like even if. Let's say you have to buy absolutely everything to play basketball.
Yes.
I could go to Salvation. I'm a very large person with very particular sizes.
Yeah.
I could go to Salvation Army and get everything I need to play an entire season of basketball.
Yes.
$50.
Well, yeah. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
It's accessible.
Very accessible. Hey, do you know what else is accessible?
Music picks hot off the presses.
Music, you know what? That is
more
right. Music
rock.
Well, I was going to say that. You know what? I'm going to bring up my news now since you said that. Since you said hot music right off the presses, because my news today is that as we speak currently, in our real time, the East Coast Music Awards are happening.
Oh yeah, they're just starting that over on the island.
Yeah, and when our listeners are listening, it will just be ending.
Yeah, they'll be wrapping it up.
Just be wrapping it up. So they know a lot of things that we don't right now.
People over there will be filled with energy still, I'm sure.
A lot of energy. So, of course, ECMAs, the East Coast Music Awards. We have 18 from Cape Breton, 24 from New Brunswick, 52 from Newfoundland, 88 from Nova Scotia, and 41 from Prince Edward Island.
Can someone please graph that based on population so we have an accurate idea of our representation?
That would be very interesting, yeah. I would like to see that.
Because Nova Scotia's got the biggest population, so it makes sense. Yeah. But then I feel like Newfoundland and Labrador are really punching above their weight here.
Oh, gee, I'm thinking Cape Breton's really punching above their weight.
They're split off. They are split off.
They are split off
Cape
by
Breton,
themselves.
18. Wow.
So I don't know if it's 18 out of Nova Scotia's 88 or if it's 18 additional.
I would think since it's in its own little subcategory.
Yeah, I was thinking that. But when you brought up like per person, like per capita, like that's what I thought too. And Cape Breton was the one that like really stood out to me.
Because there's only 37 people, and 18
of them are nominated.
Yeah.
That's
Some of those could have been nominations in multiple.
It's true. So like 30, all 37 may be nominated.
Oh yeah, because they could be in groups.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, congratulations, all of Cape Breton.
All of Cape Breton
You
nominated.
All of for ECMAs.
But yeah, the ECMAs are going on right now. For the next little bit, probably for the next month, I would say. I'm just gonna play artists who were nominated, and then when we know the winners, we'll be able
to talk about it.
Pardon?
We'll be able to talk.
We'll be able to talk about it then, yeah. But I was. Of course, my work is here at
the airport.
But I was, let's say, doing some presentations with children today on this subject. And I got to listen to some of the music by these artists. I was listening to a lot of Gary Beals, who I would definitely check out if you have a chance to do it. To that, I listened to a lot were the East Pointers.
Oh, yes.
PEI band. Yep. I'm sure have you heard them, seen them before?
I want to swear I saw them in the tent here at some point.
Oh, I think you have. Yeah, you definitely have. And so they actually have the most nominations this year with, I think, 7 themselves. All
right.
And one other on here, looking at album of the year. So yes, Safe and Sound was their album last year, 2013. The other one was Neon Dreams, has I think 5 or 6 nominations themselves. That is a band out of Halifax.
Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't have you played anything by them?
I haven't, and I actually have it on the list today to play. I have a track off of their album last year, Love Child Baby Dolphin, that I am going to play right after we do the news.
My news is not as chipper as your news.
No, I'll give a couple more shout outs and then we'll go to your news.
Give some more. Bring the people up before I knock them down.
I listened to a decent amount of Rich O'Coin today, and tracks off his album Space. I saw a really cool music video for one of them. I wish I remembered the track's name right now.
People love music videos on the radio. That's like among their favorite things.
But if you look up Rich O'Coin, he has...
You can look it up on the internet where you can also receive your radio.
That's true.
What a time to be alive.
I listened to some La Patente.
Think patent.
Oh,
similar, like La Patente.
Yeah, La Patente.
Which is a great Czech word because it can be used as a verb, like patente, which would be like to cobble something together or to fixes that involve tape and wire.
I love that.
Highlights of some patentage.
Patentage.
Well, there's patentage.
This is my patent.
No, this is my patching together of something.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now let me see if now tell me La Paradis.
Yeah, Paradise.
Infidels.
Interesting. I think you'll get most of the keywords there.
Yeah, interesting. I didn't actually read that until now. I don't know what they were saying. It was very Shiak, so...
Well, sometimes the Shiak sneaks right up on you.
Well, I knew it was going to be Shiak. I just can't understand it.
Okay.
I
was talking to one of our other air traffic controllers today over the radio up in Trackety.
Oh yeah.
It kind of reminded me that my French is a little rusty because his rate of French is like machine gun.
Yes.
Like if you put the what's the music thing that goes tick-tock on time?
Metronome.
A metronome. If you were metronoming him, he's like
real fast.
Yeah.
Yours.
My French is
a little Largo.
Largo is slow.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I got that Largo French. Sorry, who else was qualified?
Qualified.
Oh my goodness.
We actually have listened to a few of these before because I have played them just because they're people I know. That'd be the Jackson Wilson duo with their album New Doors, James Shaw with 3-5, and Paul Tynan's Bicoastal Collective Chapter 6. What else did I want to point out? what else did I listen to today? It was some really good stuff. I'm really quickly.
Just having a little look-see.
Yeah. Oh, there was one that it was from the kids album of the year.
Oh.
And
we
it
could
was
do kids tunes once in a while.
Yeah.
Surely enough on a Sunday night that kids aren't all in bed yet.
Morgan Toney has the fusion recording of the year with track name Net Kukulimk. I do not speak Mi'kmaq, so I apologize.
Yeah, I'm no help to you there.
Kukulimk, which was really cool. I showed was a part of the presentation that I did today, and I really want. There it is, Bingley and the Rogues. I listened to some Bingley and the Rogues.
And how was it?
And they did it was like a song, I think, for our YouTube series, like a Dungeons and Dragons YouTube series.
Okay.
And it was like this rap about all these characters in this D&D campaign. And it was, I didn't understand any of the content.
Oh, okay.
Except like the general D&D content in it, but it was good. I was like, man, this came out of Halifax. Like, this is dope.
All right.
Anyway, go check out like the artists. Like, go support our local artists. There's a whole ton of them. Every type of music that you could ever want. You could find the best local artists right now at ecma.com and go and find.
Or drive over
nominees.
to. Well, no, you've already missed it now.
Yeah, they can't go over.
Drive back in time.
Yeah.
Which we've already discussed is fluid.
Yep.
And screwy.
It is.
And hit up the ECMAs.
Do it. Or hit them up next year. They will be probably not in PEI. What's your news, man?
You know that giant marsh we live next to that people sometimes call the Isthmus?
Yes.
It's being held back by dikes that were built by Acadians several hundred years ago and nothing else, except maybe hopes and dreams.
Yes.
Good news on the progress of like saving the dike.
Yeah,
and the wetlands.
We should do that.
They've announced a whopping $750,000 not to start work.
Survey work,
just to talk
think about work,
just to talk about doing the work, and the timeline given by our elected representatives.
Mm-hmm.
Just you want to guess? You want to guess in a number of years?
10.
You know, the Price is Right? Yeah, a decade.
Yeah.
So it's like, we know this is now.
It's great. I didn't read this news yet. As soon as you said the number in dollars, I knew it was going to be like 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
It's good we're getting some people together to discuss it. It definitely hasn't been an issue for a long, long time.
We will eventually.
Yes.
Sometime.
Maybe.
Between now and when
Nova Scotia becomes an island,
we might start thinking about this. At least we have money set aside to start thinking about it. Hey, did you think about that? We now have money.
Sir, my position has been radically changed. Thank you. Great works, folks.
So as soon as the poo-poo hits the fan, we can immediately appoint an entire team to deal with it.
Oh,
did you think about that?
The team may even be in place at that point.
So, like, we now see what the government did was make the infrastructure for when the tragedy happens, they can then respond to the tragedy.
Air traffic controller Thomas, if people are discouraged by this news, what events can they attend this week to pick themselves up?
Hey, give me a sec. I'm back in time now.
Yeah, that was going to be the segue to end all segues. And then it wasn't so much.
There's actually like nothing. Look, it goes from. That's hilarious.
It's because the students left, man.
Yeah, so the next
everyone's just like, I'm tired. We're gonna this week, folks. We're gonna take a nap instead of doing a thing.
The next thing, from Sunday the 5th is Sunday, May 12th.
Okay.
So if you want to go see a music recital, a weekend recital at Brunton Auditorium on campus. It is free next Sunday, a week from today, 1:30 p.m.
All right.
We might go check that out.
Okay.
Then we can talk about it.
On the radio.
On
afterwards.
the radios. Yeah. Crazy.
All right.
Hey, I want to play a tune, and the tune is going to be, you know what? Let's do the Morgan Tony one.
All right.
I just shouted Morgan Tony out. Net Uklulimk is the song. Morgan Tony is up for, I believe, Best Indigenous Artist and Best Fusion Record. Check out these UMAs. Here's Morgan Tony.
Us warm, using every part right down to the bone. No trace left is how we leave. Hey, we never take more than what we need. Way high, way high, way high, way high, way higher. Walk through the highlands, wind and rain. On that trail, no food for days. Sacred spirit, white as snow. I came face to face till I watched him go. Way high, 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 way higher. It took a minute. It took a minute. It took a minute. It took a minute. This is far behind from the feet that flame. Blood line running deep in my veins. For all we have, give thanks and pray. Prophet say we're gonna rise. Way high, 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 way higher. Meat fist to belly and the hide keeps us warm. Using every part right down to the bone.
Yeah.
While you folks were listening to that, we were also listening, but having a little discussion about mandolins and violins,
Yes.
to which apparently are tuned the same.
Yeah, they're tuned the same. One you just play with like a bow, and the other one has frets, and you pluck with a pick, and
Yeah.
kind of has the strings doubled up.
There you go.
Same instrument, other than that.
I had to figure it out because I thought there might be a banjo lurking in that song,
No.
folks. But as it turns out, this may be the inaugural
Yeah,
banjo-free episode.
yeah. I was hoping it was gonna have banjo too. If any song was gonna have banjo, it was gonna be that one.
That was it.
Yeah, and it
Mark
didn't.
Twain is so happy right now.
Ugh.
You know my most used Mark Twain quote?
What?
A gentleman is a man who can play a banjo and doesn't.
Hey, that's me.
Oh.
So going into
You know what else I've been reading other than Mark Twain?
What have you been reading?
I read a book this week.
Yeah.
Like straight up read it, just start to finish. It was a short book.
Yeah.
But it was I feel like I lost all my reading momentum when I was trying to read that English classic, which will go unnamed.
Yes.
So it's like I need a little. So I read a little Arthur C. Clarke short story.
Okay, yeah.
I think I mentioned it last show that I
Yeah.
was going to read. It was like Meeting with Medusa,
Yes.
and like Arthur C. Clarke wrote like 3001: A Space Odyssey,
Yes.
2001, famous for that, and a bunch of other, just a lot of writing. And it was good. It was good the whole way through. It was like it was short enough that it's almost like watching a B-grade action movie. It's like, except at the end, the plot twist is like, oh, I kind of see how you'd write the whole story around the idea just to get this very end.
Yeah.
You had this idea, and the rest was a walk up to it, and I'm fine with that because the walk up, it was good too.
Yeah.
So, folks, do you want some good summer reading? Forget all you people who like reading about murders, and read some Arthur C. Clarke.
Forget about murder.
Yeah.
Arthur C. Clarke. I've been delving really into a Tolkien again.
Oh yeah.
Like real head first.
See, I feel like Tolkien's always like it's fall reading for some reason. Like the autumn reading. You get.
See, for me, it's
No?
It's ADHD hyperfixation reading.
Oh,
you know,
that can strike at any time.
Yeah, so it's like, I've been getting a little like drip feed of The Hobbit, like the movies, the Peter Jackson movies. A little drip feed every like little bit.
Okay.
And one, you have to go check like, oh, that's not actually what happened in like,
you got to fact check the movie adaptation to the book.
Yeah, because not everything's the same. There are some differences, so it's always nice to be like, oh, that's a difference. So it's like, oh, you spot the difference and you go read about all the differences and see them all. So a lot of it's that, but also a lot of it just went into, one of the things I wondered while reading it was the Arkenstone being, the big shiny stone that Thorin wants.
Yes.
I was like, oh, is that a Silmaril?
So then you went and got a copy of the Silmarillion.
Well, yeah. Then you just got to start going down rabbit holes and reading
before you know
stuff.
it, you're in the Lost Tales, and
yeah. So like,
and before you know it, it's
if you wanted to know, it's not a Silmaril.
Oh.
Because I did know that there was one Silmaril that was stolen from Morgoth. I was like, oh, is that the Silmaril that was stolen from Morgoth? No, it's not. So if you wanted to know, if it comes
up on Jeopardy tonight,
if the Arkenstone is a Silmaril, you will be able to say, I have no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's good. You've been reading though.
Yeah, reading is good. And do you know what else is good? Live on KEXP.
Oh, is that on after us later this evening?
It's literally on right after this show. It is the best of live on KEXP's world-renowned live in-studio and remote performances. Each week, they bring you new live sessions from emerging artists to well-established acts spanning styles, genres, and cultures. They have had everyone from Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, Florence and the Machine, the Lumineers, Alt J, Arctic Monkeys, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, Mac DeMarco, Phoebe Bridges, Wilco, The War on Drugs, Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros, The National, Boy Genius, Pixies, Fleet Foxes, The Hives, Gary Clark Jr., Kamasi Washington, Tegan and Sarah, Christian
remarkable
McBride,
amount of talent.
Jeremy Dutcher. A lot of people. They've had a lot of people on.
Just so many people.
So yeah, full videos of all live on KEXP performances available at youtube.com/KEXP, including a new performance by Vancouver band, The New Pornographers. They can check out at KEXP.org.
Yeah. Do you listen to the news?
I
I know.
Love the
I
news.
even tell you to actively avoid it here.
Yes.
On the radio.
You do.
Which I always laugh at our little segment on the break room wall.
Yes.
Where that shows our show schedule, like our show plan.
Yes.
When there's news on there. I try not to listen to the news. But
Yeah.
sometimes, when I take my lunch break here,
Yes.
which are staggered because we can't leave the
That'd be
tower unattended.
wildly dangerous.
Yeah, so you take it at noon, I take it at 1.
Yeah.
I like a late lunch too.
Of course.
Helps me from getting kind of boggy in the afternoon.
I get that, yeah.
You could turn on CHMA and listen to Democracy Now!, which is news
Yes.
globally. Well,
yeah.
based out of New York, the show, but the news
Yeah.
is like worldwide news. And sometimes, if you're gonna listen to news, maybe it's better to listen to some global stuff, and then you won't worry so much about the local stuff.
Yeah.
If you're dedicated, if you're married to the idea of consuming news media, maybe it's better to go big picture.
Sometimes.
Maybe not.
You know what?
What?
It's always good to get a lot of perspectives on many things.
Huh.
Bigger and small.
Okay.
And you know what? Do where one perspective can come from? That is Black Atlantic. A Black Atlantic-centric podcast, website, and media channel with the goal of bringing Atlantic POC voices to the world. Hosted by Clinton Davis and Hilary LeBlanc. You can check them out at blackatlantic.ca. Follow them on Spotify and visit their YouTube page. That is tonight at 8 p.m. right after live on KEXP. And finishing this 4-hour powers of hours is The Night Shift with Luca Capone.
Oh yeah, never know what you're gonna hear there.
Nope, spinning a diverse, adventurous mix of sounds ranging from psychedelic jazz to experimental hip-hop with a heavy focus on Canadian and independent artists.
Should we play the people some music that they won't see coming? Feel like we've been music light this evening.
We've been music light recently. We're like music on schedule.
Oh,
We could
we've had
do
two.
Yeah, we've had two.
Okay. All right. I don't want to force it. Like, you don't need to play music for the people.
We can play music. We got time. Do you want? We could do a couple songs.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
Oh, I got a song that I've been queuing for weeks
Yeah.
based solely on the album name.
Oh yeah,
Which is Holding Patterns.
yes.
Which for an air traffic controller is just, once you run into a maritime band with an album called Holding Patterns, you have to put it on the air.
Super fair.
If it didn't, I think they'd pull our license. So we got the Motor League out of Moncton.
Oh yeah,
I told you I was going heavy on the rock tonight.
love it.
It's like the double dose of rockness.
And we're
So
gonna
you got You Won't Believe What Happens by the Motor
play-
League.
here we go.
Write this down so your ideas become the only ideas.
picture, wish it was you writing this song. Of a million melodies and memories of you, but you're gone, gone, gone. Into stardust, into stardust. You're the mountains out in Stellenbosch. You're the river flowing through the rocks. You're the air that fills my lungs when we turn to stardust. You're the fire in the morning sun. You're the sky no one can touch. You're the waves that lift me up when we turn to stardust. And particles of love. Staring at your picture, wish it was you here with these thoughts. Can't wait to tell you everything, all the lessons I've learned when I'm gone, gone, gone. And I'll be gone, gone, gone into stardust, into stardust. You're the mountain out in Stellenbosch. You're the river flowing through the rocks. You're the air that fills my lungs when we turn to stardust. You're the fire in the morning sun. You're the sky no one can touch. You're the waves that lift me up when we turn to stardust. Particles of love. Staring at your picture, wishing it was you that was here. We're born for a reason, we grow and then we disappear. Into stardust, into stardust.
Well, that is Stardust by Neon Dreams.
Yeah. That I think that's the first time we've ever had two songs like just play through. We haven't
Yeah.
commented on them.
I think it is.
Setting records.
That's what like real radio does, isn't it?
Oh.
They
Well,
do-
is that because they don't have to speak as much?
I think so, yeah. So
Huh.
they do like the song and then the other song and then they talk about the second song after the first song. After the song,
Yeah.
and then they'll have a bit and then they'll have a bit into the song and then talk about the next song and then have another song and then come out of that song with a little bit and then go to the next segment and then that's how the pros do it.
That's how it works.
Yeah, we don't do that.
No.
We do.
Did we have an idea when we started what it was going to be?
No.
Like more talk than
Yeah.
more talk than music. Though.
Yeah.
And I feel like we talk more than we music.
We definitely talk more than we music, but like
That's disappointing for the people tuning in for music.
yeah, it is. But the people tuning in for talk,
Oh,
they're getting
they're
the talk.
pumped. They're filling up their quota.
Hey, some people love the talk, some people love the music, some people like the talk music. We're the talk music.
We're trying to please everyone.
Yeah, some people like the music talk, like the more music.
Music where people aren't singing, they're just speaking.
Yeah, slam poetry.
I thought we were going for cake.
Yes.
Is cake slam poetry?
Yeah, you know what?
It's not Atlantic Canadian rock, so we can't play it on the
It's
radio.
true.
Doesn't meet our
Our criteria.
yes, which we stick to.
We have, out of all things we said we were going to stick to, we've stuck to that, I think, the most.
I accidentally played one song that wasn't Atlantic Canadian rock.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Not just rock, Atlantic Canadian. But I didn't
Wow.
catch it till a few weeks after.
And you can't go back in time.
No,
Well, you can.
the
We've
only
talked
way to
actually.
find out would be to tune into this summer's special radio program Thursday at 2 a.m.
It's true.
to learn about time.
Time.
Time o'clock.
Not time
We're
travel, just
looking
time
for
in
Time
general.
in general. We're looking for someone to host the show.
Yeah.
We'll add you to the airport roster.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. You already have a page for another show that should be coming soon. So
There we go.
well, look at that. We're a podcast radio network. We got the Time Show. We got the Wrestling Show.
It's wild to me that you just considered us a podcast when I consider us a radio show.
I said radio show.
Okay.
I said podcast for the wrestling one and radio show for
Okay.
us. I think.
I just know because I had a listener,
Yeah.
one of the three,
Yeah.
or four possibly now.
I think we're up to 4, yeah.
Yeah. One of the four pointed out, and they referenced it as a podcast.
You should beat them.
I'm not a fighter.
Yeah, I know, bud.
Yeah.
All right, well, you know what?
Folks, we're going to leave on that note.
Thank you for listening. Thank you, CHMA, for hosting and broadcasting. You can check them out at chmafm.com.
Or like on the radio.
Yeah, you can also check them out at 106.9 FM in the Tantramar area.
Mm-hmm.
You can also check them out on their socials, which would be CHMAFM everywhere.
And we're also on social
We
media.
are on
I'm led
socials.
to
You're
believe.
right. Yeah, we're actually on all the socials at Midgic Airport, except on X, formerly known as Twitter, where we are at Midgic_airport. You can also check out MidgicAirport.com. You can visit our merch store. We do have some new merch there. We had a big order recently,
Oh,
so you can check out merch
it's out
for that.
back in the break room closet.
Yeah. Hey,
All right.
people wear it. Like, you
All
know, when
right.
they, especially the gloves, when people
Oh.
gotta go outside in like the winter and the cold and the wet, and people wear the gloves all the time.
All right.
I don't know if the gloves are on the website, but the hats are, and
Oh,
sweaters, and I think that's it right now. Hats and sweaters. But if you're a hats and sweaters person like me,
mm-hmm.
all the hats and sweaters in the world.
All right.
And what's wrong with hats and sweaters?
Nothing. Hats and sweaters are both great.
They are.
I'm more partial to sweaters and hats myself. I was thinking of the song I played a few weeks ago about the guy in the house party in the hat. Do you remember that one?
No.
Where he was like, yeah, and the cop showed up, and the chorus was like, I came and I had a hat, and I'll have one when I
right.
left. And
Yes, and how
Yeah.
important hats are in history.
Hats are tremendously historically important, and the song was great too.
And you know what? Our hats from our merch store at MidgicAirport.com also.
Worth starting a fight over.
I was just going to say historically important, I think is what you said the hats were.
Oh,
And as is this hat. Hey, and we also have a page for our new wrestling podcast up there too. You can check that out soon. That will be on Tuesdays. And apparently we're going to start a series on time over the summer. So you can check out our series on time. And you know what it's time for us to do?
say goodnight.
Yeah.
Play the folks out with the tune.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for listening, folks. Have a great evening.
Me through your open door, but now it's closed. You taught me never to take anything for granted. Watching birds fishing late on the outgoing tide. We will meet again. We will surely meet